I'm Jenna.
Hello, I'm Gloria.
We are Worthy Wellness.
Because we are worth it.
Our purpose is to introduce women entrepreneurs, products, and services while proceeds help women in need for holistic care and therapy services.
Welcome, ladies.
Hello, everyone. Happy International Women's Day. We are super excited because we have Esmeralda Saldana, and I'm so grateful for our collaboration over the summer and the wellness workshop and her generosity that she donated to the nonprofit. And welcome, Esmeralda.
Thank you, Jenna. Super excited to be here with you today, and happy Women's Day to you.
Before we get started, I love to share your contact information before and after so listeners can get a hold of you. So if you want to call Esmeralda after listening to all what she offers, her number is 310-488-4669. And her Instagram account is ES_MEE_VIDA, and that's her Instagram. All right. So would you like to tell our listeners what you do for business?
Sure. Hi, everybody. Well, let me just introduce myself really quick. My name is Esmeralda Saldana. I am a mother of 4 kids, all who are still very needy of me. I don't think that ever goes away. They're young. They're ages 12, 10, 9, and 7. I'm married, been happily and in love married for over 10 years, been with my partner for almost 17 years. And what else? As far as what I do, well, it's kind of interesting what I do because before I do what I do now, which I'll get to, I was a hairstylist. I had my own small salon. And I really loved what I did. I'm actually a second generation hairstylist. My mom still does hair to this day. She'll be 82 years old this year, and she still works. She loves it. She will never stop. And I was pretty much raised in a salon. So I was a hairdresser. And at the time that I was in my prime and doing very well in my business, I was also finding that I was struggling with a lot of mental wellness and just physical wellness. I was stressed all the time, had anxiety, was eating very bad, drinking a lot of soda, and was just working myself to the bone because I was so busy at work and making great money. I wasn't really taking care of me. During that time, a client introduced me to a product named Arbonne, which I might get into later on. But just to kind of give you a background, she introduced me to this product. I definitely was not looking to do something else. I mean, she was crazy for even introducing me to this because I had no time. But I loved what the product represented. It was a very clean, quality, nutritional product. And I know I was lacking that in my life. So I just kind of started using some of the products just for me. I fell in love with the products, fell in love with the company. And it became very second nature for me to just share all the stuff that I loved with all my clients, from the skincare to the nutrition to all that stuff that I realized that I was sharing it so much. I started getting a paycheck in the mail once a month for all the recommendations I had made and the product that had been sold because of me sharing. And I realized, like, hey, this is kind of a cool little side gig I can do while I do hair. You know, I can definitely just share it here at the salon. And that was 12 years ago. So ever since, I want to say 2014, when my daughter was born, I retired from hairdressing and stopped doing it full time. I still did it here and there, like I still do now, because I love it. But it was definitely not my full-time gig anymore. And I just focused on growing this amazing business and this company. So yeah.
Oh, you wear a lot of hats, I see. And I think it's amazing that you are able to integrate and juggle the different roles that you have. And being a mom, I imagine you have great recipes that you probably implement and cook. So do you have a winter recipe recommendation right now?
Winter recipe, I think, would be pozole.
Ooh,
It's
that's
a
nice.
Mexican hominy soup that I'm sure some of your listeners might know of, but it's great in the winter. It's delicious. You can make it spicy, you can make it mild. My kids love it. I make it with chicken. Traditionally, it's made with pork, and I don't make it as spicy, but it's like a Mexican chicken soup. You know, we all have that one soup we go to when you just need something hearty but yummy and healthy. And that's pretty much what I love to eat.
Yes,
And
especially for rainy days because it has been ongoing, and I love soup when it rains.
I know it's so good. And there's so many recipes online. I don't think I stick to one specific. I love going to YouTube and just Googling pozole in Spanish because I always like to get the recipes from the older generation grandmas and tias because they make it the best. And you can find that anywhere on YouTube.
Oh, how wonderful. And I know you're mentioning that you recommend beauty products. So what are 3 beauty tips that you would like to share to our listeners?
Yeah, so I recommend beauty and wellness products. And I think the top three, I had some time to think about this because there's just so many tips out there, right? But I think as busy women and moms, we don't have time for all of that. So I think the top three that I would recommend any woman, especially if you're in my, 35 to 45 age range, is number one, double cleanse when you wash your face. I know that sounds kind of weird, and people think, like, well, my cleanser is great and it does it the first time. The reality is that no cleanser is that good, and you should always double cleanse. The first time, it takes off, yes, your makeup and everything that maybe you put on for the day. But the second one will ensure that everything comes off completely, because if you're going to put on skincare product after that, you do want it to absorb. You don't want it to get clogged, or you don't want to waste your money because it's just kind of sitting on top of your skin. So double cleansing is for sure something we all need to do. Number two, drink water. I know that may sound like a nutritional statement, but it's both, really. Drinking water is super important, not just for our skin health, but also for our physical health. And the best way to measure how much water you should drink is just simply take your body weight. So if you're weigh 140, divide that by 2, that's 70. So now you know you should be drinking 70 ounces of water a day. That's the rule of thumb. And then the next thing, the last thing that I have learned throughout my career at Arbonne is buy products based on the quality, the effectiveness, and the ingredient policy. That is way more important than the brand name or hype. We live in such a marketing world. I mean, we're being slammed with advertisements, especially on Instagram and TikTok and all kinds of social media, that we tend to buy into the hype, right, of what people are sharing, or we tend to buy into the celebrity who's endorsing it, or nowadays, a TikToker could be a celebrity. But instead, we need to do like a little bit of work, because if you're going to invest your money, and sometimes it could be a little bit, sometimes it could be a little substantial, you want to make sure that the products you're buying, that your decision making is going based on the quality of the product. How effective really is it? And the ingredient policy, is it a clean, responsible ingredient policy? And some tips to kind of figure that out or navigate our certifications are important, right? Being a B Corp is very important. If you don't know what a B Corp is, Google it. It's very interesting and very important for any products you buy, even food. Being gluten-free. A lot of people have celiac or other intolerances to gluten, and a lot of people have no idea that it can be in your skincare or in your makeup. Making sure it's vegan. You don't need any animal byproduct. It's not necessary. You don't need, duck fat or chicken fat in products, and it is out there. Well fat is out there too. So buy vegan, plant-based, cruelty-free products. And there's a ton of other certifications out there that I'm happy to share with you if you want to message me. But I think that's one of the main things that you want to look at when you're buying stuff.
Thank you for pointing that out. And believe it or not, my husband had a documentary, and I don't know the name, you might know of it, but it was talking about that ends up being a huge barrier or challenge to discover what type of beauty products to use, because they don't really educate, and maybe the marketing and the labeling is misleading, misguiding, and they were finding out that products could have really bad ingredients inside, and that the process of monitoring and screening it and launching it might not be as strict, and depending on what part of the world you are in, maybe some
Yeah,
countries are more strict than others. So isn't Arbonne international?
it is international. And I think the documentary you're talking about is Not So Pretty. It
Oh,
might be that. There's a lot of
yes.
them, but that one's really good.
I believe it was on Netflix. So if it went on Netflix, maybe that was the one. I jumped in when he had already started it, but I was impressed that he was watching it to begin with. He was fascinated. He was like,
We live in a different world, and a lot of it is based on profit. So many
mhm.
people are coming out with brands, but they're not necessarily clean or effective or responsible. So I think as humans, and even more as parents, we have to kind of dive a little deeper. I know it's more homework, but it's worth it at the end.
Most definitely. So I love that research base. I love that it's a B Corp. And what I also love during the wellness workshops over the summer is that we're able to actually test it and trial on our own, because we don't know if we have allergic reactions or how it feels. Sometimes you don't
Absolutely.
get that opportunity. So I love that you were able to educate, talk about the product, and we were able to put it on and go through this little spa treatment that was also very calming, and that spa-like feeling.
Yes, I love that. We all need
Yeah.
it.
Yes, and, another thing I wanted to share is that I did test out some of those, products for wellness and healing my gut, and I know we like to heal from the inside out, and you touched about hydration, and you touched about how beauty products are, the external, but the internal is just important. So that brings me to the next question. What are the three most important health tips that you wanted to share, and if there was any products that could help with the ingestion and what we drink or eat and things like that?
Absolutely. I love that question. I actually am going to go a little bit out of order of my notes because you touched about the gut, and I think that is such an overlooked topic. A lot of people still don't understand that our physical and mental wellness is at stake when it comes to our gut health. And the quote, "A healthy gut is a happy gut," could never be more true than it is today. But what a lot of people don't understand or even know is that there's a direct connection between the brain and the gut. And the gut brain connection really is no joke. It's linked to anxiety, it's linked to stomach problems, and vice versa. For instance, have you ever had a gut wrenching experience? Or do certain situations make you feel nauseous? Or maybe like, have you guys ever felt butterflies in your stomach? So I know we use these expressions for a reason, but it's real. You actually feel this physically in your gastrointestinal tract because we're so sensitive to emotion. So it's no surprise that when we're feeling anger, anxiety, sadness, or even elation, it's triggering something in our gut. So because of that connection, people have to really take serious the idea of having a healthy gut. If you're eating a lot of processed foods, if you're eating a lot of protein that's not grass fed or responsibly, raised protein, if you're drinking a lot of alcohol or a lot of sugary drinks, of course, you're going to most likely feel a lot of these emotions like anger, anxiety, sadness, depression, things like that. And of course, vice versa. So our gut is super important. It's one of the most important things. And Jenna, you remember I talked a lot about it when we have our little workshops. I
Yes.
do because it's connected even to our skin. So if you want a really good beauty tip, it's again, take care of your gut. About 70% of our immune system is also in our gut. So if we take care of our gut, we're less likely to get sick, to get that common cold or flu. So that to me is very important. And we do have a variety of products at Arbonne. Arbonne, just so you know a little bit about it, because I think trust and reputation is really important. It's been around 44 years now. A lot of people don't know that. They think we just started like 10 years ago. Now it's been around a long time.
Mhm.
It is European formulated, so we do not follow American standards, and that should be a sigh of relief for some of you who know our standards here. We have a lot of certifications, such as gluten-free, non-GMO, B Corp certified. We are halal certified for the Muslim community. We are kosher certified for the Jewish community. But in that, those certifications bring you a lot less cleaner and simpler product. But one of the products I always recommend my clients or people that I'm sharing Arbonne with is our gut and microbiome support. So that is a probiotic, a prebiotic, and a digestive enzyme that really helps heal the gut from the inside out. It's dairy-free, it's vegan, super clean. And I've noticed just such great results using that product daily. I take it every morning on an empty stomach. It's the best time for that to be the first thing that goes into your gut. And of course, with a big glass of water. So I take that. Another thing that I highly recommend for people to eat or consume for a healthy gut is a diet that's rich in fermented foods. Fermented foods are very important for our gut because they also have a lot of great, good bacteria that our stomach needs, like kimchi, kombucha, sauerkraut. There's a lot of really good yogurts out there. If you're not sensitive to dairy, you can do yogurt, miso, certain fermented cheeses, sourdough bread. Those type of things that are fermented are also really good for your diet. My second tip, which kind of goes with the first tip, is eating whole foods, which I know is hard, especially because we live in a fast-paced world where we're constantly busy. But eating whole foods is really important because they're much higher in nutrients, such as fiber, minerals, vitamins, than processed foods, of course. And they should make up the majority of your diet. I know it can't be always, but it should be the majority because it's going to help you lower the rates of heart disease or cancer or even type 2 diabetes. So whole foods allow nutrients to act together like they were meant to, and it gives you a lot more energy too. There's a product that we do have in Arbonne for people who find themselves just crazy busy, or buying organic fruits and vegetables can be really expensive for them. I get that. We're a family of 6. I understand that wholeheartedly. We have greens, a superfood greens that I love. It's 36 freeze-dried fruits and vegetable in powder form. And you can just take a scoop and put that in maybe your gut microbiome support beverage that I talked about, or you can just put it in water. Or if you like doing protein shakes in the morning, you can throw it in your protein. You can really use it however you want, but that's going to have really high fiber, iron, nutrients. It has all the rainbows of fruits and vegetables. If you're just not good at ensuring that you're eating something healthy every day, it's kind of like a cheat sheet, but it shouldn't replace the idea of never eating whole foods. You should definitely do that too, but it's just a supplement. It's something extra you can do to ensure you're getting something healthy every day. And then, sorry, go ahead.
I said, wonderful. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. And then the last tip would be take supplements. The majority of people nationally and globally are very deficient in vitamins. And most of the time, you don't even know what you're deficient in. That's normal. You can actually ask your doctor to do a nutrient deficiency blood test. Depending on your insurance, you should be able to get it and just let them know the truth. Say, I maybe I'm lacking energy. I feel tired. I'm going through premenopause, postmenopause. I kind of want to see what I'm nutrient deficient in. And they could do a blood test for you and tell you maybe the 5 markers, which usually is like calcium, iron, fiber, magnesium, and vitamin D are the 5 top vitamins that people are deficient in. And if you want something more thorough and you just really want to know, you can also do at-home vitamin tests. There's a bunch on Amazon, but some of the ones that I know of that are very good are, the first one is 23andMe, which some of you might have heard of. It's also like a DNA profile. There's one called Routine, spelled Rootine. That's one company. Another one is 5 Strands, which is kind of the 5 strands that I talked about, the magnesium, calcium, vitamin D, all that. 5 Strands, number 5, and then Strands. And then the other one is Let's Get Checked. These are all reputable companies that you can get the test at home. Either it's most likely urine test or a fecal test or something, or they do a little blood, like a blood pinch, and then you just send it in. And then they sent you back your analysis with recommendations on what type of vitamins you are deficient in and what you should be taking. So yeah, that's a little bit of that. And then of course there's Arbonne. I actually don't use any of these companies for vitamins. I got my deficiency blood test through my doctor's office years ago, but I use my supplements from Arbonne because I use them. That's why I recommend them. And we have a lot of different things. We don't necessarily have like a calcium pill or an iron pill, but we have very comprehensive protein shakes and other supplements that just have all of it together in one. So that's what I do.
Great. Thank you so much for recommending how to test and take the guesswork out and really find out to customize for yourself and what you're nutrition deficient in, and, how to help with the supplements and the products. And, this is very holistic, and this is what we believe in on our podcast, is healing from the inside out. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing those beauty tips and the supplements, the products, the health tips. It's all amazing.
Thank you, Jenna.
So another part of this podcast is, entrepreneurship. There's a spirit that comes with that, and some people might be born with it, or someone like you, a second generation hairdresser. Did you notice a shift when you became an entrepreneur? That shift in spirit and mindset.
Yes. I didn't necessarily feel it when I was a hairdresser because it just kind of was, natural for me to go into that profession, and it was very fast paced and very busy. I honestly didn't have any time for any personal growth. I just kind of hit the grind every day. It wasn't until I started my social marketing business with Arbonne that I really dove into more personal development. I think in any business where you find yourself, where you have to really grow your business 100% on your own through trust and recommendations, whether it's selling products, or if you go into a new business venture with a friend, or if you open a boutique down the street, or even hairdressing. Even though I was so busy, I never had time. I think there's always an opportunity to just grow yourself more. And the interesting thing with Arbonne is we joke about it. We always say it's a personal development company disguised as a product company, because there's just so much personal development encouragement. I have never read so many books in my last 12 years that I have being part of Arbonne, because they really encourage you to just be strong-minded, learn how to work with teams, learn how to be positive, learn how to be a stronger business person, just so many different topics. I mean, even in sales, I've never considered myself good in sales. I actually hated sales, or I cringed at the idea of having to sell something in anything I did before hairdressing. But with this personal development, I really learned that when you are passionate about something and you truly believe in it, you're really recommending these amazing products because you have so much belief in it that it becomes so much easier, so second nature, and fun. It becomes a lot of fun. I think personal development is important, even if you're not starting a business, or if you're an entrepreneur. I think, especially with women, we need to read more to help ourselves grow. Like, put down the romance novel and pick up like something that's really going to help your mind grow and your person grow, and help you become the best version of yourself, because there's so much that you can do and so much that you can give. And I think every single woman out there has so much potential. We're just capable of so much. If you just look at a typical mom, like with kids, all the different hats they wear. Jenna, you mentioned it earlier in the call. That's just a sign of what we are capable of. And if we're just able to redirect that energy into something for us, something that we feel we have purpose, and we feel we can grow and be part of a larger community, like, the sky's the limit. There's so much that you can do and grow and just, live a different life.
Most definitely. I love that. Just grow, grow, grow.
Yeah, you can never stop.
Is there anything else that you would like to share on this special International Women's Day before we wrap up?
Just, I think something just more encouraging. Like if you have an idea for a business or you're something you've been wanting to do, but maybe you haven't found time, quote unquote, or you're a little afraid or scared of diving in, I just say do it. Life is short. Tomorrow is not promised. Just go for it. Try it. The worst thing that can happen is that you will fail, but failing just means that you tried to begin with. And if you just keep going and if you fail again and again, it's okay. It only means you're getting closer to whatever goal that is. Don't be scared of that. I think sometimes we're just so scared of failure or we're scared of what people might think, and it shouldn't matter. One of the things I learned early on, and this is just super transparent about social marketing and social selling. I know there's a lot of weird or mixed emotions about this profession, and I call it a profession because for me it is career. It is a career that I love. But a lot of times people misunderstand what we do, or they misunderstand because of the past. I know there's a lot of companies out there that kind of made this into like a bad reputation. But with social media, it has changed tremendously. It is so much fun to be a part of something like this. And you really just have to go for it and not worry what people think. I used to care so much about what people thought at the beginning, but then I realized if something was to happen to me or my husband and we didn't have income coming in, those people that I cared so much about their opinion, they're not going to step in to pay my bills. They're not going to step in to pay the rent or to go buy groceries for us. So I really just had to go for it no matter what. And I'm so glad I did because it has completely changed our life. And because of it, I am able to be home and present for my kids. So don't be afraid. Just go for it. And yeah, just, go for it.
Take that plunge. I love it. I love it so much because we do have our ups and downs, and
Yes.
social media could have that negative impact. So I love the optimism and I love all the tips that you shared. And we would love for those that didn't catch in the beginning, can you please tell the listeners how we get a hold of you?
Yeah. If you want to get a hold of me, you can go to my Instagram. My Instagram handle is Esther Sam underscore MEE Mary Esther underscore Vida. V is in Victor, I is in Igloo, D is in David, A is in Apple. Send me a message. I'll be happy to chat.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Jenna. Happy Women's Day.
Thank you.
If you're also a woman entrepreneur to support our cause and would like to be considered on this podcast, please reach out to us. We would love to connect. We see you. We want to connect, empower, and inspire others. So please call or text or even fax 949-793-8781. Or our Instagram is Worthy Wellness Inc., like INC. Hope to hear from you, and thank you for listening.